I call again on Deputy Vice-Chancellor Professor Jim McCluskey to introduce Professor Louise Harms, who has kindly agreed to deliver the occasional address.
Chancellor, what a pleasure it is this morning to introduce our guest speaker, Professor Louise Harms. Louise is Professor in the Department of Social Work at the University of Melbourne and Director of its Trauma, Recovery and Resilience Research Centre. Louise herself graduated from Melbourne with a bachelor's degree, both in arts and in social work, and then later a master's and a PhD. She holds a certificate in trauma counselling and psychotherapy from the Cairn Miller Institute. Her career experience includes social work at the Victorian Rehabilitation Centre and in the neurosurgery unit at the Royal Children's Hospital. She's also worked as a counsellor here at the University of Melbourne's Counselling Service. Louise's academic credentials feature a University Award for Excellence in Engagement through Teaching and her publications, including the textbook Working with People, Communication Skills for Reflective Practice. Relevant to today's oration, she is also Associate Dean of Equity, Diversity and Staff Development in the faculty, a key leadership role. It's a pleasure to call on her to speak today. Please welcome Professor Louise Harms.
Chancellor, Deputy Vice-Chancellor, Dean, members of the Faculty and University Council, colleagues, graduands, and your families and friends. This extraordinarily impressive building provides, I think, an appropriately grand scale setting for us to celebrate your achievements here today as graduands, and I congratulate you also on your achievements. This building actually first opened in 1880. Its doors opened to the people of Melbourne, and it was in that very same year that our university first opened its doors to undergraduate women, a quarter of a century after it had done so for men. The resistance prior to women's enrolment in university undergraduate life was fierce and blatant. According to sources, it was a time of dogged fighting, indifference, and a time of untenable prejudices. Women's intellectual abilities and merit, their function and purpose in society, their very decency were all questioned as they pursued the right to a tertiary education. So if we fast forward to 138 years later to today, those of you in particular graduating from the Bachelor of Biomedicine are proof that much has changed. Women's enrolment in 2016 into your now graduating cohort today was at a first-time high at 57%. This is at a time where there's national and international concern about low levels of female participation in the STEM disciplines: science, technology, engineering, maths and medicine. Not only that 57%, but we're incredibly proud that, again, for the first time, the 5 highest achieving students in the Bachelor of Biomedicine identify as female. And of the top ranked 37 students, 59% identify as female. These are history-making achievements today. By way of both women's enrolment in an undergraduate degree and excellence in this degree alone, I think there's compelling evidence of change since 1880. However, we know that gender disparities persist. We still need this 57+ female enrolment in our undergraduate STEM disciplines to build and sustain women's later careers in STEM. The merit question is still asked of many women pursuing careers in academia and industry, in our boardrooms and our governments. And in professions that are predominantly female, like my own, social work, there are issues of equity that we still need to address, leadership and management opportunities, for example. Now, you as our graduands of all our degrees today, undergraduate and postgraduate, embody diversity much more than previous generations. But in our universities and many other workplaces that you'll be stepping into, doors still need to be opened. Doors to that diversity and equity of opportunity. Not just in relation to a person's gender, but indigeneity, culture and ethnicity, sexual identities, physical abilities and mental health. And why keep opening these doors? It's not just a matter of rights and social justice, although it's clearly that. Studies show that now, though, that everyone, where there is gender equity and genuine inclusion in workplaces, for everyone there is higher job satisfaction, improved decision-making, greater productivity, and most importantly, excellence in discovery and innovation. And that's for everyone. So when we get equity and diversity right, everyone benefits. So as a university and faculty, we're looking closely at where and why our doors are still not wide open and what else needs to be done. And as you move from today into the next steps of your careers, we hope you will take up this individual and collective responsibility. The responsibility of promoting equity, diversity, and excellence wherever you are.